Hey everybody, how's it going? He's back.
Good morning, everybody. It's always good to be back. Yep,
Good to see you.
absolutely.
Good to see you. How's
Yeah,
your YouTube channel going?
it's fun. Taking some time, as you know, they always take some time and dedication, but it's fun.
Yeah, mine
It,
took 4 years.
yeah, it's people seem to be getting the value out of it, and that's I always said I'll do it as long as people drive value out of it, and really not doing it for other reason, if you know what I'm saying. So
Right. Yeah, because I of course, anytime you have a new video come up, I get to watch it. It's it's extremely interesting. I like it a lot.
oh, good. And we try to
Even if I hadn't known you and you came on, it's
Mhm.
something that would have interested me.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, we try to come up with topics that we think are the most, beneficial for everybody.
Right.
So, yeah, so very good.
So any housekeeping or anything you need to?
No, I think we're good. On my channel, when we get to the next 1,000 level of subscribers, which is 14,000, we'll give away another half-hour reading. And same thing on your channel. I think you're about 100 away from the next 1,000 level. Because I looked this morning, and don't quote me, I think you're, I don't know, 43,900 or something.
Oh wow.
So when we get to 44,000, then we'll give away another half-hour reading on
Wow, thank
your
you.
show with me. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so you guys, we have your questions. Here we go. From the other side, does Larry King have a message for us all?
So talked with him yesterday. Great guy and really a fascinating guy because he was an interviewer, as you know. So it's kind of nice to interview him. But one of the things he was saying that really surprised him, he had an open mind during his whole life regarding, the afterlife and faith. And at sometimes he was an atheist through his life, and sometimes he followed the Judaism. But one of the things he was interested when he finally crossed over, he realized how little kind of a lot of the world's religions had to do with the one force, that everybody's connected through the one force, right, which is God. So
Right.
he realized all the similarities on the other side. And he also told me he realized that, going through life, he didn't realize certain people could talk with the other side. And now he understands it because you can kind of see the phone line connections, if you will, down to people. So he realizes there really is a communication path to the afterlife and to the one force. So he acknowledged all that. He
Awesome.
also told me, the last thing he told me was one of the first people that greeted him on the other side was Bob Hope. I thought that was
Did
very, very interesting.
Bob Hope, was he ever on his show? Probably, huh?
Yeah, and I don't know anything about their relationship, but he did say one of the first people that greeted him was Bob Hope. So I thought I'd relay that. I thought that was interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bob Hope. There's a lot of people out there that weren't alive during. I remember as a kid loving his shows, his little specials he did with the troops.
Sure. Yeah.
I always
Absolutely.
thought he was so funny.
Yeah, I thought he was a great guy all the way around. I thought he tried to do a lot of good when he was here. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Will Dominion voting systems have success in their defamation lawsuits against supporters of voting fraud lies?
They will. There'll be a liability conveyed in the court cases on that. There will be in terms of defamatory information against Dominion. And if I'm not mistaken, I think one of them was Giuliani. I think with the first case going against
Giuliani, the
Giuliani.
My Pillow guys getting sued right
Right.
now.
Yeah. So they will have success there. They will.
Awesome. Awesome. Will there be laws or policy changes that stop and reverse the voter suppression efforts that have been implemented in many states? Any federal actions?
There will be. So this is going to take, probably a good 2 years to kind of get rolled out because the kind of pendulum's going to swing back and forth. So there'll be some of these laws will get passed. I see the Supreme Court getting involved and laying down some ground rules for, making sure there's no voter suppression and fair voting. So when the Supreme Court gets involved, it looks like over like a 12-month period here, then those new guidelines will then roll out to the states, and then we'll have much better access to voting. So a little bit of a pendulum swing over the next 12 to 24 months on that.
Okay, I noticed that that new judge, what's her name? Starts with a B. The new judge, Supreme Court judge.
Oh yeah, I don't recall her name
The
now.
female. She asked a question about the Republicans suing and going to Supreme Court. And she asked the guy, so why exactly, what are you interpreting? What does this mean? What makes you think that this is like no good? And he basically said, it was all over the news. Well, if you allow people just to sign up through the mail and stuff, we lose. Republicans lose. So that's not fair. Even though the voting is correct, it's not fair. So he's going on about how you let these people go, these people have free for all. And she cut him off because I think she knew he was hanging himself. She said, my time is up, quick.
Yeah. And, and all this is going to get vetted out in the courts and Supreme Court. And so they're not going to be able to kind of do what they're trying to achieve, which is voter suppression.
Right.
So,
why did Trump make a surprise visit to Switzerland? I didn't even know that.
Two reasons for that. One was to set up like financial relationships. So whether that's banking or, the movement of money, like from other countries through Switzerland. So financial. And then the second thing was I get business dealings related to Russia. So some sort of business dealings in terms of satisfying debts or long-term planning, but it was like a middle ground for them to be able to communicate and set up strategy going forward. So.
He is going to New York tomorrow for the first time in a long time.
I didn't see that in the news, but yeah.
Is that connected at all, or is this just something else?
Well, the Switzerland trip, I think, it had two very definite reasons for occurring. I don't know what he's doing in New York. You're saying
he might even be answering a subpoena. Who knows?
Yeah.
Does Archangel Gabriel have any messages for us?
Yes. Trust your guides and, really kind of act on the information that you get. So like a lot of individuals, they actually do get information from their guides and angels, but his message is learn to trust what you receive and then act on it. So.
Okay, Sterling, how do the guides of individuals that participated in the coup of January 6, 2021 feel about what they did at the Capitol? ? Were they aware, unable to prevent, or do they allow the individual to act out their free will?
So the guides certainly know what's going on, and everything comes down here with a blueprint. So this is part of a larger reset. So a lot of what you saw going on there is part of a very larger reset on the planet. These are things that are almost analogous to what occurred in 1776, with like the Declaration of Independence in this country. So this is a bit of a reset, just like 1776.
Right.
So it's not that guides want to prevent it. There's a larger plan involved here. So.
Is Trump trying to get rid of Cuomo so he can put in a Republican governor, or one that gets the pardons he will need? Will he be successful? How can he put anybody in? He's a citizen.
Right. Well, I think this came up on a prior show, but absolutely the GOP and our friend, former 45 is behind trying to oust Cuomo out of New York. So they're trying to get something more favorable in legislature and government that'll be more favorable to Trump. So the first part of the question is, yes, the GOP is behind trying to sabotage this. Interesting road here. I think they said, will they be successful? In the long run, I don't think they will be. And I think Cuomo is going to stick around and fight because he understands what's going on. I think he's going to fight, but he'll fight to the point at which he thinks it's not helping anymore. So it looks like he takes it to the end and really does stay in power. Whatever happens, the GOP is not going to get another Republican candidate in there to achieve what they want. So in the end result, they won't be able to change it in favor of Trump.
Someone on Twitter posted, Don Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Just up there as big as day talking about. And now we have a fourth person that's come. Now that's 4 people. And I'm thinking, compared to what? Compared to, somebody said, and he asked to kiss me, which is probably inappropriate, but still was
Sure.
like, really? So anyway.
Yeah.
Will Trump's accountant, Alan Weisselberg, turn state's evidence on the Trump organization to save himself from indictment?
Well, I feel he already has. So that train has left the station. So there's already negotiations and turning state's evidence behind the scenes that the train already left the station.
That is wonderful. Thank you. When will the filibuster be removed so that the Democrats can pass legislation?
So the filibuster is not going to get removed. It's been, around for a long time. But what I do see is it being modified. So the last modification, I think it was in like the mid 70s, where they went down, I think it's 60 votes now to stop a filibuster. I do see that some sort of a change coming up where they're going to kind of move it down to something like 55 votes to stop a filibuster. So they're going to modify what it takes to stop it. But I don't see them fully be able to get it out of government.
But the thing is, it's not even in the Constitution.
There's definitely government. It's definitely outlined in a lot of government legislation as to how this is supposed to take effect. I think from the founding of the country, right? Filibuster was around since the founding of the country.
I don't
But
know.
the last time it was modified was in the mid 70s. It used to be 2/3 vote to stop it, and then they went down to 60 votes. But now I think it's going to go down to 55.
Oh, McConnell changed it. He changed it. He changes the rules, like even getting that Baxter or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Now we don't need that many votes to get our Supreme Court. I think by 2022, they're going to be very surprised about the amount of people the Democrats that are going to get in. Because
Right.
no GOP voted for you to have a better pay or paycheck or to have help. None of them. I don't understand what they're thinking when 70% of the nation says yes.
Yeah, well, I think what they're thinking, it looks like the baseline is they don't want any Democratic person in power to look like they're succeeding or helping. That's really what's going on. So they can't.
There you go. Perfect sense.
They can't ever point to the fact that, hey, the Democrats made your life better.
Oh my goodness, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it's sad.
But even Collins and the other lady, I was surprised. Okay, when will the filibuster be removed so Democrats can pass? You just said that. So basically, we're saying maybe when we in 2022. Sterling mentioned prankster spirits. Yet they scare a lot of people. Can our guides, guardian angels see these pranksters and vice versa? Can the guardians make them go away?
Yeah, so there are various things as the way the universe was put together. So prankster spirits are part of it, but prankster spirits and prankster people even exist on Earth. So same kind of people that play jokes on you and make your life difficult. They exist on the other side. What's most important, a simple protective prayer will make sure you're only talking with your guides and angels and not dealing with a prankster spirit. The analogy I always give is, you kind of know you're dealing with a prankster spirit if you walk by a Rolls Royce dealership and you go, should I buy that car? And your spirit says, you should definitely buy that car. So you have to make sure you're not dealing with. But prankster spirits will also, the same ones that hang around haunted houses and they think it's funny to scare people. So
that's true. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, General Charles Flynn and other generals who chose to delay sending in the troops to the Capitol on January 6th be held accountable for their decision.
Yes, and this is all part of the Nancy Pelosi 9/11 style commission that's ongoing right now. So that'll all be vetted out. It'll all come to light. Yes, so definitive yes on that. Yeah.
Great. Are artistics here to teach us a lesson? Are they on their last lifetime?
And what was the first word in that?
Are autistics.
Oh, autistic, yeah. So fascinating spirits. We look at autism and autistic individuals. They're actually highly intelligent and kind of, their mind is on a different side. So these are people that are actually quite gifted in what I'll call STEM technology, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So the way they've come down to earth as a soul is more enlightened and more on the genius side. So it's a little bit off kilter. But I think the question was, are they down here to teach us lessons?
Yeah.
Just by part of their life experience and the genius that they bring to mankind is helpful. So they teach us a lesson, but they help.
That's great. What is the long cylindrical object that American Airlines pilot saw last week?
Many sightings of this. So it was an alien spacecraft.
Mhm.
It was, yeah.
It was.
And
I just watched the show yesterday, and some of the first photography ever done in the 1850s. Someone was taking a picture of Mount Washington in New Hampshire, and guess what was there? A long object, cigar-shaped object, right there, as big as day.
That's one of the most common types of spaceships, or alien craft, along with ones that look like big triangles in the sky. That's another very common form. But they've been here millions of years, and that's the funny part. So
right. I haven't seen one. Have you seen one yet?
I have, yeah. When I was in college.
Oh wow!
I think we talked about it a while back, but when I was in college, I saw one off the coast of California at night. So it was
so cool.
Yeah.
Can your guides give any insight on whether Trump might be such a higher soul serving us a lesson and how not to be for the rest of us, or if he is simply a soul in need of spiritual growth and evolution? People ask the coolest questions.
Well, let me try to answer that. Let me try to answer that question. So, this is all part of a larger universal plan, which everybody plays a part in, including 45. So remember, this is all part of that kind of new Declaration of Independence for the nation. This is all part of a reset. Is he a higher order spiritual being? I think the question was, well, no, but he's certainly somebody that is in part a catalyst for a lot of what we're going to be doing. So he is a catalyst, but it's all been predestined. And you can even look back through Nostradamus teachings and you'll see a lot of references to this time period. So
awesome. Can you energetically feel your soulmate even if you haven't met them?
Yeah, absolutely. And the closer you are, either in proximity or to time, you'll feel them even more. So remember, as part of the blueprint for our life, we choose our soulmates, so you actually know when they're coming. So there is a little bit of a predestiny excitement that occurs. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. There is an increase in allergies. Is this simply because we are eating, breathing so many poisons and unhealthy things, or is there some deeper spiritual or energetic reason?
Well, it's part of a developmental phase that the Earth is going through right now, the change in the environment and the ecosystem. And so there's a bit of an adaptation that's going on with people to get aligned. So these allergies are a bit of an adaptation going on with the body to the way the Earth is changing. So nothing overly critical, but they're annoying. I get it, but people are adapting to them. So.
Wow. Okay, looks like Elaine Chao is now under investigation. How will Mitch handle it? And will she leave the country?
Right. So, she left, I think it was right after the Capitol riots. I think it was like January 7th. She resigned. So, she's ready to take the first ticket out of town. She sees all the trouble coming. There were a lot of things she did that were quite questionable during her administration, to put it mildly. I think Pete Buttigieg is already on top of a lot of this. He's got her old position. So, it won't be that long before we see her kind of take a big exit. And
her husband's looking to exit too.
Right. Yeah, this is all going to
take his place.
This will come down worse than an avalanche, a snow avalanche. So it's coming. But
I don't know if you and I talked about it together, but I specifically remember saying, and you might have said the same thing, was that the downfall for Mitch McConnell was going to be kind of because of the wife.
Oh, absolutely.
And this that's happening now is just touching the surface.
Right.
Like right now, this wouldn't create the chaos that's about ready to come. That's why they're panicking.
Yeah, I feel a lot of transportation abnormalities occurred when she was in office, and a lot of friendly relationships with our friends in China, and whether it was narcotics or other types of products.
Right.
Yeah,
and
so it's all coming to light.
A little kickback. That's why Mitch is panicking. So will there be another surge in COVID-19 cases? If so, will it be back?
So a little bit of landscape there. I do feel that there's at least 3 or 4 variants we're going to get our hands around here. And so there'll be a few upswells of the COVID virus in various areas of the country. So I don't see necessarily a nationwide shutdown, but seems like some states are going to get hit by some of the variants a little harder, which is a quasi shutdown for some period with certain states. And then we're going to get through it because all the vaccines will be available from 4 manufacturers, certainly by end of summer, in hundreds of millions of doses. So a little bit of a rocky ride here this year, but we'll get through it.
We'll get through it. Yay.
Yeah.
Did Meghan Markle bully her staff at Kensington Palace?
They're telling me no, but they're telling me what this is a little bit of a backfire smear campaign to try to protect the monarchy and the queen from anything that's coming out. Kind of this tell-all interview with Oprah that's tonight, Sunday night.
Yeah.
So a little bit of posturing, if you will, from the monarchy to kind of brace themselves for anything that might be coming out. I think they already know what's going to come out on the Oprah Winfrey interview anyway. So
yeah, I'm not going to watch it. I just, ever since Diana died, I won't watch any of that stuff. But I do feel that she was really hit by the press out there. I think that was just too much. And maybe the monarchy didn't stand up for her.
No, exactly. I think they gave her a very hard time, and so they're trying to do a pushback in the media with coming up with some extra dirt, which is I'm being told it's not true.
Thank you. Okay, so many people seem to be experiencing vertigo, dizziness, ringing in their ears, in addition to having trouble sleeping and having really weird dreams. Why is this happening? Footnote, I'm still suffering from vertigo.
Right.
I see the regular doctor tomorrow, but I've done everything anybody recommended it. Nothing has taken it away.
So that's a multi-layered, there are several factors involved in that. So let's say there's some artifacts coming from the vaccines. There's some artifacts. I'm not saying that they're deadly artifacts. There are things there that get exacerbated, but there's a lot of earthquakes going on around the world, and that's part of it. So people are sensitive to geological changes. You're one of them. Congratulations, you're going to be much more sensitized and experience kind of, vertigo and other types of effects. That's one of them. The second big thing is that there are some earth changes going on just in the atmospheric changes, the way we're seeing global warming and different pressure gradients in the world and in our atmosphere. So you're getting affected by those too. So for me, what they're telling me, there are really 3 different factors here, all kind of coming together. Vaccine artifacts and global warming and atmosphere, and then earthquakes. So this will all kind of settle down. I mean, we have some earthquakes coming this year, as you know. We've talked about it. But
Nostradamus said November 25th was a big one in California.
Yeah, no, interesting enough, when I first got it, I don't know, 6 months ago, my guys were telling me June, whatever they said June. And then a month or two later, the geologist came out and said, we're forecasting one October, I think is what the geologist said. And now Nostradamus, November. So, there's definitely one coming.
But the calendars change.
Right.
He's using a calendar that we don't use anymore.
I actually think the geologist said August, September is what they just forecasted.
That sounds like earthquake, and October sounds like earthquake.
Yeah.
But ever since we've had that 8 points and one, and I don't know if you notice, I get notices back to back that it's a 5 point, a 6 point. There was a couple of 7 points off the coast of New Zealand. Now it's on my right side. If I go to my right side, I start spinning. Last time it was my left side.
Well, I mean, you've got the radar. You've got the earthquake radar. Yeah.
So, okay. So many people. Oh, yeah. So that's what we just talked about. Will any attempts of changing voter requirements be successful in Georgia, Arizona, or Pennsylvania?
This almost reflects a little bit on the earlier question, but it looks like there's a short-term effect over kind of the next 12 months where they they have, looks like, some success in changing some of the voter to make it harder to vote. So it's more like voter suppression. Then as we get 12 to 24 months out, Supreme Court gets involved, lays down some guidelines, and that gets reversed. So,
Thank you. Do pets miss us when they cross over? Do we pick our pets prior to incarnating? That's a very interesting question.
Yeah. Well, our pets are completely, they're part of the angelic realm, and they're actually completely part of our extended soul family. So, when you cross over, you see hundreds of people in your extended soul family, including your pets.
Right.
So your pets are very aligned to us, and you do select your pets, and you all agree to come down at the same time. I think the first part of the question was, do pets miss us?
Yes.
But they don't, because they see us. So pets can see us, and our pets in our lives right now can see pets that crossed over. So they don't miss it from the same standpoint. They're very highly evolved beings, and they see us. So probably missing us is the wrong term. They see us in a different dimension.
Yeah, that dog I had, Moochie, that dog was in this house, and I bought this house. It died in another house. I saw it in full living color twice. Okay, what do you seek for the upcoming week?
I see an acceleration of the vaccine trials. Is probably AstraZeneca. There's an acceleration there of the new trial they're doing there. I see an acceleration of availability of the J&J vaccine because there's now, that's happening. I do see more fallout in the Trump family because it looks like there's a separation amongst Trump family members who try to save themselves. If they want to run for political office, how do I separate myself from all the fiasco going on? I do see that. And overall, it looks like we're going to see, the stimulus package go completely through, and we're going to get, that's all going to get locked down. So
as predicted.
Right, absolutely.
Dan mentioned something to me that you had said that I wanted to find the video so I could repost it. That you had said you saw the army or military around the Capitol. Protecting the Capitol. I was just but that you had predicted that. I never saw that. I never saw the military, but you did.
Yeah. And
they're even going to call in the National Guard, is what you said.
Right. And what's interesting, my wife reminded us the other day, we were talking about what's going to happen in the election aftermath after, Biden got in.
Right.
And I did say, my guide said, for the first 2 quarters of this year, it's going to be a little crazy, a lot of rioting, a lot of stuff going on. Well, we're in March now. We're kind of through the first quarter, but get ready for a second quarter.
Oh, yeah, there'll be more stuff.
There'll be 2 quarters.
That March 4th was a nothing burger. Always knew that.
Right.
I think a couple of people showed up and stood there. That was it.
Well, and that's also to the great applause of, the military and all the reinforcements in the Capitol, because had they not been there, I think they would have tried something March 4th.
Like if you had status quo and nothing changed. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
So do you have any information that your guys want to share?
They do. They want to share with everybody start out by giving thanks for everything that's in your life. So that means you can start small and then work up to the big things. But the message they want to get across is that when you start giving thanks for everything in your life, it actually accelerates all the good things coming to you.
Right.
So let me say that again. You start out small, you give thanks, and then it accelerates things coming to you. So that's important to understand. Yeah.
Right. It almost brings you up vibrationally. You get stronger.
Exactly.
And it's easier. That which is likened to itself is drawn. You cannot attract something that you're not connected to.
So. Exactly. Well put.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Always good getting together on a Sunday, and you got a busy schedule, I know, so have fun with all that.
I know it's cray.
Yep. Exactly.
And I'm still spinning. So I wish it would stop, but I'll see the doctor. I don't think it's anything major. I just, like you said, I think it's the energy with the earth.
Yeah, you're going to get much better very shortly here.
Well, it actually is better than when it first started, because I was vomiting with it. And walking was very hard. Now I can walk and stuff. It's just when I'm laying and I turn to my right.
Exactly.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. We'll see you.
Cheers.